Good afternoon, all. Thank you for joining us at the team announcement presser with Chelsea Sharks head coach Sean Everitt ahead of the match against the Dragons in Newport on Saturday. I have released the team at 2 today. Has all the media had a chance to go through the team, or would you like me to just go through it again?
I'm happy.
Happy with the team, Navash.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are now proceed and open the floor for questions.
If I can go, Navash. Sean, you've resisted temptation to bring into camp your Springboks. Can you tell us the conversations around that? We see Siya Kolisi's on holiday, posing pictures with some famous Liverpool stars. Are you giving them a break, and when can we expect them to be brought into the fold?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Our Springboks have been given the week off this week, and they'll integrate to training next week back in Durban. And obviously, with regards to injury, if we need to call them in next week, we will. But I prefer for them to get up to date with what we had been doing during our pre-season and what we had implemented.
Just a couple changes. How's it, Sean? Just a couple changes for you guys. Looking at the guys that are missing out, like Gebrand, the extent of their injuries, what is that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Gebrand injured his bicep at training on Tuesday afternoon in a bit of a freak accident. So it's not ideal for him, shame. So he'll be returning home. So his place has been taken by a new signing, Justin Basson. So it's exciting for him that he gets a start, as he played very well off the bench against Sebre last week. And then unfortunately, Fred Zeilinger injury was a little bit worse than expected after the game, and he has returned home for scans to his knee.
Okay. And let's look at our opposition at the Dragons. We beat them comfortably last season. They beat Munster last weekend. It seems like it could be a very, very different side. I'm not sure about the personnel that they've got, whether that is different, but it just seems like it could be a very different outfit to the one that we faced at home last year.
Yeah, it is a different team. We were fortunate enough to play Dragons at home, and it was difficult for them in Durban at that time of the year. We're expecting a different challenge this year around in Newport. At home, they're extremely difficult team to overcome. They're physical by nature, and they pride themselves on their physicality and the collisions. So we have to be up for it physically to be able to get the result against them this weekend.
Sean, have you taken stock of last Friday night's close shave? A game you dominated, to be fair, in the first half. But that last try in the first half kind of sent a bad omen in terms of momentum, and Zebre really ran with the second half. What has been your reflection? What has been the conversation with the team about maintaining your upper position and concentration when you have it?
Yeah, I think for us, the first half is probably the best 40 minutes we've played for a long time. Even if you go back and look at the early parts of the URC last year. So we're very happy with that, and obviously we'll take the positives from that. And then in the second half, obviously we allowed them to get momentum, and they were dangerous out wide. We struggled with our width on defense and the quick ball that we gave them at the breakdown. And at the same time, we never stuck to our kicking plan. So, lessons learned from that. We did put ourselves under the pump more so than them putting us under the pump. But, those are all fixables. I think the positive for me as well, that in the first half, we didn't feel pressure because we never gave away that many penalties. We only gave away 3. But in the second half, when we were under the pump defensively, we conceded 7, which didn't help to the cause. But we've had a week to work on that. We've had an 8-day turnaround, and we're ready to go on Saturday.
Next question.
Yeah, I have one. Actually, what does someone like Footer add? I know Footer and actually, what's his name? Also, Renewal. yeah, they know each other long years, and also here in Free State. Yeah, they were logs here also at Free State.
Yeah, so Justin, as an Aka footer, you know, he brings physicality to the pack. He adds a little bit of weight in the second row. You know, he's a good ball carrier and a strong defender. And as you saw last weekend, our maul stoppage wasn't great. So we know that he'll give us a little bit more ammunition as far as to stopping mauls are concerned.
Mike, you can go ahead with your question.
How's it, guys? I've just got in now battling with signal with load shedding, so I hope this hasn't been asked. Sean, you beat these guys by 50 points not even 5 months ago. Obviously, that was in Durban. I mean, does that have any relevance? What do you still take from that game, or have things changed radically?
Yeah, we had a look at that game the other night, and obviously we were dominant from a physicality point of view. We saw last week that they dominated Munster in the collisions and in the mauls and the set piece. So we're well aware, you know, what's coming our way, and I think they've vastly improved from the outfit that turned out at Kings Park earlier in the year. One has to make mention that they are a quality outfit, that they have a new head coach. And they're certainly a different kettle of fish at home to what they were in Edinburgh and at Kings Park last year.
Jan, followed by Nick with your questions.
Thank you, Navasi. Thanks, Sean. Sean, you touched briefly on reintroducing or phasing in your Springboks as the season goes along. But for you, it's also different or difficult to manage because in November they're gone again. So, and then you've got a European season coming after that, and they might rest in December again. Can you talk to us about the challenge of managing your players, your squad, and your roster around all these international demands?
Yeah, obviously for us, it's a little bit different than the other unions because we have, you know, a large number of the Springboks at the Sharks. I think fortunately for us is that they're a group of players that prepare really well. Although they have missed out on the pre-season and some of the new things that we've implemented, they will be joining training on Monday, and we have coaches at home, Yannick Brew, Joe Mongala, and Etienne Finn, that will bring them up to speed with what we need to do and our systems from an attack and defense point of view. You know, that we need to introduce them, even though they'll only be available for the 2 or 3 games in what's remaining in October, and the sooner the better. They're quality players. You know, we feel and respect the need for a rest over this period, and if we were at home, maybe it would have been slightly different next week, but you know, barring injury, we're going to leave them in Durban to prepare for the clash against Glasgow a week later.
Sean, what did you make of Ruan Janse van Rensburg's first outing, scoring a try, could have had 2 in midfield with Ben Tapua?
Yeah, I thought they went really well, and they caused the opposition problems on defense. You know, we know that Ruan's a strong ball carrier, and he showed that on the weekend. It was great that he was able to get a try on his debut, and you know, I think he did himself proud for the first time in the Sharks jersey.
Nick Keith, apologies about that. You can proceed with your question.
Thank you. Hi, Sean. I'm going to be on English language commentary for the BBC at the weekend. I just wanted to find out who you think, through what you've seen in training, obviously just one game in anger so far this season, but who you think is looking good, who you think is out there doing good stuff that we can draw a bit of attention to.
Are you talking about the Sharks or the opposition?
Yeah. Your players.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, there was a lot of good performances individually on the weekend, and Grant Williams justifiably got man of the match. You know, he became a Springbok earlier on in the season for his and was rewarded for some good performance for the Sharks. It's great that he got an opportunity to start for us. He took the opportunity with both hands. Then, you know, the guys that got through a lot of work rate were our 2 loose forwards, James Fenter and Dylan Richardson were huge. As well as Captain Thomas Toy. So, yeah, there are a few. Unfortunately, Apalele Fassi, who had a great first half, was probably the standout in the first half, but unfortunately he left the field at halftime with an injury to his quadricep. But you know, we're looking forward to his return this weekend.
Thank you.
Next question.
Sean, I wanted you to just sort of touch on your loose trio there. How do they sort of work together? Where their sort of strengths? I guess you have a guy like with James Fenton, Dylan Richardson on the side of the scrum. They seem like they might be quite similar players, but how do you fit them into your system?
Yeah, their work rate is massive. Dylan and James get around the park and they make a large number of contributions in the game. Fortunately for us, they are really good ball carriers as well. So it does help us. It helps us slow the opposition ball down at the breakdown. But at the end of the day, they bring a lot of energy to this team. You know, they're young flankers and are certainly up for the challenge. And, you know, they want to prove themselves so that they can start in this team going forward. Likewise, Pepsi Buthelezi, probably an unsung hero in the URC campaign last year. He played well. He grew a lot as far as his game's concerned, especially in his ball carrying and his defense. And he does bring a bit of speed around the park and some explosiveness as well.
Sorry, then you've got Sikombozo Noche sitting in the wings, sitting on the bench, also now getting a bit more game time. He had a serious injury last season. So there's a really nice mix that you're building in that loose trio.
Yes, I think, you know, Noche has improved vastly since his injury. I think the preseason helped him a lot. You know, he's running a lot more freely now than he was prior to that. It was a horrific injury that he had to overcome. And we know that he's a quality player and he's not a Springbok for nothing. So yeah, he will be pushing Pepsi in that position. And it was great to see him have a good outing off the bench last week.
Final two questions. Are there any further? If not, thank you very much, Sean, for your time.